This moment is a sacred moment for many of us. Yizkor is a time inside the sacred time when we symbolically toast l'chaim to one of the lives of those who departed. We embark in an expedition of our memories, trying to bring back alive the flavors that our loved ones left in our hearts. With the permission of the rabbis, in an attempt to make this moment more meaningful, deeper, and more significant, I would like to share with you a story that involves toasting, expeditions, departures, and more. This is the story of Sir Ernest Shackleton, born in February 15th, 1874. Can you hear it now? Okay, the problem is that the people from the live stream will not be able to listen very well, so I'll try my best, okay? So this is the story of Sir Ernest Shackleton, born in February 15th, 1874. He was a British polar explorer who led 3 British expeditions to the Antarctic. He was one of the principal figures of the period known as the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. A true hero who led 3 expeditions to the South Pole. To bolster team spirit on his second Antarctic expedition in 1907, Sir Ernest Shackleton personally ordered 25 cases of McKinley's rare Old Highland mulled whiskey. On January 1909, Shackleton and 3 companions, Frank Wild, Eric Marshall, and James Adams, reached a new farthest south latitude, a point only 112 miles from the pole. En route to the South Pole, the party discovered the Birdmore Glacier and became the first persons to see and travel over the South Polar Plateau. The return journey to McMurdo Sound was a race against starvation, on half rations for much of the way. At one point, Shackleton gave his 1 biscuit allotted for the day to the ailing Frank Wild, who wrote in his diary, "All the money that was ever minted would not have bought that biscuit, and the remembrance of the sacrifice will never leave me." In 1914, he set off again, this time his sights set on traversing Antarctica for the first time. His ship, the Endurance, was frozen and crushed in the ice. With 5 men, Sir Ernest took a small rescue boat and sailed 720 nautical miles in treacherous condition across the freezing ocean to South Georgia, then traversed the mountain range to a whaling station. From there, he chartered a rescue ship back to his waiting crew, returning all of his men safely home. This feat of strength became known as one of the greatest survival stories of all time. Shackleton was not forgotten. In 2007, a century after his second expedition, 3 cases of perfectly preserved whiskey were discovered, frozen into ice beneath Shackleton's base camp at Cape Royds. The whiskey was excavated and flown to New Zealand, where it was carefully thawed by the New Zealand Antarctic Heritage Trust in a purpose-built environment and public gallery at Canterbury Museum. It was with whiskey, probably not kosher for Pesach, that Sir Ernest brought his crew together to toast wives and sweethearts, celebrate birthdays, and above all, foster a sense of team spirit that led them to succeed against the hardest odds. After his discovery, frozen in the ice, world-renowned master blender Richard Patterson carried out a painstaking analysis to recreate this antique whiskey and used this as the foundation to create Shackleton, a modern blended malt with ice in its DNA. That's a story I learned a couple of weeks ago when Ian Jacobi, a researcher from the Technion, came and gave a nice talk and for the STEM affinity group. It's a great story and I wanted to share it with you because we are here to recreate the life of those who are no longer with us. To toast L'chaim because we remember them. We have not forgotten them. To toast wives and husbands, celebrate birthday, remember parents, grandparents, and children. But above all, to acknowledge the spirit that led us to succeed and move on against the hardest of odds. Yizkor gives us the possibility to recreate the flavors, the smells, the hugs, the kisses. Yizkor gives us the opportunity to recreate their missions and our mission as well. We are here together saying L'chaim to them. Because of them and their memories, we all continue being alive. Yizkor service starts on page 330.